Hello, dear NHL. There are interstates doctors of psychology who are involved with racketeering with little kids, child offenders, interreligious, prosecutors involved with it, prison cliques involved with it, overt criminal enterprises, private people I don't even know, pretending all recorded on Facebook. He rolls with it too. Forging names, switching name, interbranching actors, criminal uses of routes, all spots along them, racketeering, vertical and horizontal. So we have they attach me to fake conversation. This is a crime method with a Dillon family, with a Sean Dillon, Kevin Dillon, Anna Dillon, and other is a former reportedly of what is it called, the detective, and he's involved with a guy who confessed and recorded his partner that lives in not far from my area, his family. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with two speech teachers I had, and when I was in high school, and with sequence racketeering, with databases with people on off the state judicial branch offices. Now further involved with them with a whole bunch of racketeering with child sex offenders, and with a Fazina cousins, one associated with Town Line Drive, with what is it called, Two Route Highway, on off it with a whole bunch of people with this Dillon family. Recorded, confessed, involved uses of my new and past neighbors, involved with their racketeering, with other FBI involved with them, people involved with them with racketeering, with federal criminal co-defendants, the family members of the co-defendants of former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. A whole bunch of people with Hartford courts recorded and confessed and demonstrated crimes leading up to the 2006 case. Criminal uses of men and women with criminal justice departments with racketeering, with offensive evidence reception and perception racketeering roles, forced course to them from CCSU. I'm not trying to ask about anything debatable. They're needed to pretend they don't believe that in the background, but that's what's actually recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. These are people involved uses of those identity ground locations that were tied to confessions about what I was trying to figure out means to counter. In other words, now I understand the whole thing. This is vertical and horizontal database racketeering. Confessions from strangers regarding that spot, because those are people they attached with a whole bunch of attaching me and other kids through time to fake locations, fake words, pretended perceived things because they set up they use identity of the laws, criminally foreign influenced. They're using things to pretend to be against them so they can have a fact cheap in nature tool to hide when they're really involved. Racketeering against intercampuses, against each age of fact treatment nature relationship, keeping hurt consciously, all that is simultaneously instantly discernible. For proper treatment of the sciences, the answers to the questions. The predicate act is simultaneously, they knew that our founders, that witch trials, they were going to have groups like the judicial branch as a group, as a nature of volume, needed to blame other things, others themselves, for the real causes of negative value, nature, progression, acts, and natures, like predicate acts. So they blamed it on witches as standing criminal insidiousness nature, because they understood that, but they couldn't understand what they were trying to understand. What kept is really what was causing what they were blaming on, and keeping them in collusion, and the people working with the prisons. Those are especially the people with psychology, with database relationship psychology, with hospitals, especially triage relationships. Now these are jobs and relationships to criminal justice, things like that. All racketeering with vertical and horizontal racketeering that keeps a whole bunch of nations of fake sides. Racketeering against our own and theirs against their own, like Russia and America, still in collusion. Germany and America, still in collusion. with psychology. Involved with the racketeering that Joseph Mengele was offensively, physically, psycho, medical corruption so they could keep off to that and maintained sophistication incapable of demonstrating at the time that and how already here and there for psychology was with racketeering, interbranch, uses of the identity of each person, uses of logic, criminally foreign influence, their roles as experts on it, criminally foreign influence, delusions raw. On off Harvard Hospital institution, uh, uh, Institute of Living in 1822, founded on the campus of Harvard Hospital, still to this day involved with racketeering through time. A whole bunch of people tied to a Leahy family, recorded and confessed, demonstrated identity theft racketeering through time, attaching little kids to fake locations, a whole bunch of natures of drug crimes, formal and other, with various natures of courts. One way of votes, and that we need federal stewardships of Connecticut. These are people with Boston also involved with this. These are the nature of crime. Crime rolls that has to time. The very family members of the kids not realizing how they're being exploited. But what is intercampuses of each age, vertical and horizontal. We have people needing to pretend things offensively. Is there a guy with hockey associated with see, we have people that are associated with American Idol. I want to use your name. I don't remember with Twitter, probably a fake account of hers. But in other words, we have people associated with all these sports and with the networks associated with them, involved with racketeering with the FBI, with New Haven, interstates, also with Boston, involved with Reno Mazzucato. Per John Mayano, who confessed and demonstrated is involved with racketeering with fake news with WFSB. Stole my identity, attached me to fake locations, fake conversation with others. Per clicks that through time make confessions from out of nowhere. These are people from racketeering with that. Confessions also distinctly and non-distinctly from what the church has confessions for. But these religions knew that they were going to have their books valued out of sequence. They knew that they would prevent the sequence quality, truth, anything but roles with collusion, obfuscating, and self caring for it fake sides of correlation nature trinity. We don't have free speech. We don't have freedom of religion. They're involved with the inter-database relationship racketeering since before Facebook, right? Affluently through Facebook. Natures of course, we need counters to negative value nature progressions. Like all that associated, not just with nuclear weapons and countering it, it's not positive. That's all negative, making it harder and harder to counter what's making that both sides self value. Lethal IDs. The little species value nature and too long, we wasted the rest of nature with no criminal foreign influences. So I don't know why you make us beg. Does free speech get down? Or admit, we'll give you forgiveness if you admit. Give the judges names, WFSBs, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with little kids, with various natures of courts, various natures of prison cliques, involve on and off CCSU, involve on and off the campus of each age, real sick with the kids, a whole bunch of locations on and off the golfing spots. Every little difference of the ground identity relationship used by these racket natures. It's nothing personal. Let's watch that too, because they're recorded pretending things to perceive and to think, because while they're pretending things recorded at the same time. That's actual evidences. They're recording offensively using the word facts and truth by forcing the networks further and further, having used and using statutes that say they can do things that they can't, but using them more and more. Whereas now we have no free speech now. They're originally and still involved with the racketeering that brought us into World War I. Forced everyone to blame the real cause of negative value nature progression acts in nature with the all tied to the uses of color, uses of database racketeering, all those crazy fucking laws. Blame other things other than themselves. They want it sustained because in all the fact cheaping nature styles, all the hurt reactions that are right, but blaming other things other than themselves. Want to let someone that's true always, not denying exceptions, smash that for you. Instantly, we have the means to evolution. Instantly, we have actually recorded science. The zoning laws are criminally foreign influenced. The zoning laws were involved with fact cheaping nature torture since before our founders' birth, weren't they? Yes. Science never spoke for the people with walking with water on their heads, did they? No. That's too. See, that's all tied to everything relying upon an identity sick. Nature takes it away. Can't even fathom means to. If we make a big hole, then we have a place to make soil. The different types of soil. We have tactically denatured soils because they built what they need to maintain self value, the real cause of negative value nature progressions. Nature has positive or negative in relationship to what it wants as the for the distinction of the planet, where it could have 365 days. And to demonstrate during demonstration, 3 years, 1,095 days. We're coupling with that 1,095 our five semi-natures of value as 1,100, which is more value here. The one at one and the one at one, the two ones at the beginning of the 1,100 with the two zeros behind it. And that's with the zero before the first one at one, as the value of that is contained inside it. The value of it is a relationship, because the value of it is an invisible but still discernible nature of volume increasing. Just how air is a nature of volume distinct from water in its interaction with it within as itself and the rest of the identity of space, nature. This is nature, identity. Identity is nature of volume. It's what the difference between why nature and identity have two different names is because identity is a complete nature. We're only in a range of it. And identity, nature is the relationship between positive, negative, and the semi-nature with and as their value simultaneously. As temporary positive, but simultaneously unceasingly as temporary / lasting positive, and positive or negative relationship to the rest of nature as what demonstrates it too, as an identity of negative value nature progression. See, that was maintained self-value by a method that knew they could keep perpetually self-value, so they could keep lies. So they could keep liars tied to each database on all kinds of crime methods and motivations and natures of crimes as the only people that be counter to crimes. Crime methods pretending that that's all they're doing is just being undercover positions. But really, they're involved with all vertical and horizontal database racketeering. Racketeering involved with zoning laws that is involved with the maintenance to roles with what can't be valued without being valuing negative value nature progressions from each database click. Blame the other things others themselves. So we have needs to counter all kinds of natures of negative value nature progression since semi-ancient times. Not one state and area has allowed free speech. It's a problem. That's a problem because we can't get a counter because they'll forge names and switch names. They need to pretend from backgrounds. And with this problem, because we have various natures of courts with various natures of roles, crime methods with this, forging names, switching names. Now you respond because they also have all tied to them doing that. So then they're also invested now, need to pretend they don't realize they don't remember the past criminally. When they know every day I've been out here asking, and I tried the regular ways. They have crime methods associated with them. I'm asking to report the crime methods here too, and using their crime methods, acts, and actual natures as my evidences. These are wire crime methods, mail crime methods. These are a whole bunch of nations with racketeering with psychology, all kinds of natures of it, recorded. It's not even debatable. But they can get people in front of them, pretend what's already in databases is not recorded actually criminally forward influenced. Already recorded how motivated to that. See, but they lose time treatments too fast, too slow, especially where they're involved with overt racketeering. So like that with all the forced drugging of people, like with prison cliques and stuff, involved with the racketeering with their prisoners and patients when they before they were in there, and with Facebook recorded, child sex offenders, interbranch uses of their family members to hide life progressions, uses of those kind of people because they're exploiting the reactions to it, and then they're trying to say, well, why don't you try to tell on it? I've been trying to tell on that since my father's death and before it, distinctly and non-distinctly. Distinctly and non-distinctly, that's how it's recorded. Distinctly and non-distinctly, you themselves using crime methods to hide what I recorded. They recorded it. I'm dealing with their confessions and uses of identity the ground that was used by people when I was in grammar school. And when I was in high school, that was involved with life progressions from when people when I was in middle school. They don't let you have a name. They attach you to fake locations. They use on off campuses locations. Private school and collusion. Racketeering that's connected through time now that it's all confessed together. You can see the whole thing clear as day. A whole bunch of people associated with this Dillon guy. Kevin Dillon and his family associated with houses on and off the state judicial branch offices, on and off the state prison offices, involved racketeering with speech classes I had teachers. I never had a personal conversation with them. The involved racketeering with the student in the class, nice girl. She's a victim of what racketeering facilitating what they used the Ray Claw for, involved with them, like the prom, a whole bunch of. So I'm gonna use people's names. They want me to do that because they already put everyone in this vertical horizontal that they exploit categorically. Pretend they film you in location with someone because they need to pretend you were in a location you never were in a sequence that was other too. So a whole bunch of names are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated having been facilitated since they were kids. Criminally foreign influence that led up to their recorded motivations and roles was actually what led up to the Trade Center attack and racketeering predicate acts with Trade Center crime themed predicate acts since with the investigators of it. A whole bunch of people associated with this Leahy family. I can't get a response. They faked conversations with me. A whole bunch of natures of drug crime roles, uses of untimely deaths with New Britain Superior Court. A whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of nature of racketeering with them. Drug crimes, evidence crimes, criminal uses of people, the same people, involved with the corners of that house, of that street, involved with Pakistani recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, involved with whatever the agencies are with this Chris Walters in that private school next to the middle school. Involve racketeering with databases with the middle school further recorded confessed foreign and domestic families, judges, various natures of courts, their family members involve racketeering. Now, not really what they're saying for. These are vertical and horizontal identity racketeering natures associated with the South Steam Middle School, associated with and as the same ones intercity sick with the north end of Hartford, the racketeering with the cliques with the running of the prisons. You sick fake punks. Get me a response in writing now. They're not worried about recidivism. They're also recorded using pretending to be against recidivism against innocent people that don't even have a criminal record. If you arrest people a bunch of times because they're involved with sustained interbranch roles with all offensive. I mean, with all kinds of natures of racketeering tied to the vertical and horizontal criminal uses of the databases in conjunction with crime methods as illusions affected self-value into the perception, nature, and persons of each age of fact should be nature. Each one hurt, forced roles, self-valuing, pretend that I realize. It's recorded how this is maintained. We have people faking conversation tactics. They want to fake locations through time. Real sick people. There are houses further next to the principal sex offender school that are involved with racketeering with kids, men and women associated with the Institute of Living that live next to these grammar schools involved with the racketeering houses next to them that are connected also as ones involved with the racketeering through time with the houses next to the other ages of campuses. These are also people facilitated criminal uses of Johnson and Wales with the rest of the extended family members of a Clow family and of a Zano family. Involved racketeering interstates with New Britain Superior Court. A whole bunch of people associated with Brian Silver and a Brendan Leahy and his son Brendan Leahy and all his other brothers. A whole bunch of racketeering with them associated with a whole bunch of people with the corner of the Samuel Dix house. A whole bunch of foreign and domestic racketeering roles on and off CCSU, military, foreign and domestic roles, database illusion stacking, type uses of that through people, vertical and horizontal, against each age of fact treatment, make them self-evaluate. They have the Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, all that. Recorded involved with the racketeering method. Everyone miss. It's not about whose sensibilities. Pick one name and sequence at your branch. Let's go. So they need to pretend not to understand people here and sustain that. We have more foreign and domestic recorded and confessed and demonstrated. Even female doctors involved further with the houses on off the South Street Middle School and with the private school there, and with the Paulzano with family intercity with those locations connected, with the racketeering along the route of Maple Street, with the people on off the state judicial branch, on off the Weathersfield Police Department involved further with the child offender roles, do whatever to hide their life progressions from the past. Offensive evidence perception, offensive evidence reception crimes roles is what used color originally and still. Shock and awe. Let's go. Give them a name in sequence. Weathersfield, Hartford. Let's go. I asked former Governor Malloy, but you can't talk to them. They short thread. They even use governors involved racketeering with child offenders. A whole bunch of nations have agreements with psychology involved with racketeering intercampuses of each type, each age, vertically and horizontally. Let's go. Further, they have recorded the identities of each branch, of each type of agency. They have the invention and the location of Homeland Security involved with sequence racketeering, fake sides, racketeering roles with a whole bunch of people with the Scalora family and with the DeMora family with extended family members, with the NASDAQ, with the other extended family members in the house in my area involved with the racketeering interstates clicks, with judges, with prison clicks, on and off all those locations with other, they're all worthless. Look at everything. Science never spoke. Free speech. Free speech, like just one teach. Fake branches fall. Now build the wall. Take to the wall. Do we not have one group that will respond to me? See, we have all those groups. That's how they get them motivated. Oh, let's get our Facebook book. We're against child trafficking. Let's get it. Let's involve ourselves with vertical and horizontal racketeering and opinions, preventing sequence racketeering from being told on, preventing what's actually from being told on, while they use child offenders with police forms, forging names and switching names roles, fact pretending things recorded with these two Mendes police involved with the house in my area. I never saw them in my area. They're involved, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, involved with this Phil Clough. Further recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also with Christine. A whole bunch of people with the name Christine involved racketeering with Bob Chase, with foreign and domestic Pakistani doctors, military, and people associated with Town Line Drive. Recorded, confessed also with DMV, foreign and domestic police forms, intercities, all along there with interbranch family members. Racketeering with a whole bunch of people with foreign and domestic family members, with they've shared policing, what's underground there, what um probate courts and stuff like that associated with the people on Two Rod Highway, tied to the Samuel Dix house clicks with Mike Pandolf brothers and family. Their roles with junkyards, roles with the identities of each branch, each identity of agency, criminally foreign influence group, racketeering with databases, racketeering, faking medical diagnosis, faking kids to fake locations and databases, leaving it there. No one ever sees. They're exploiting that through time so many ways. I can't make a living because of all the racketeering with various natures of courts, predicate acts associated with so many people tied to this Leahy family, and the judges with their racketeering acts and methods with him, and the prosecutors like a Brian Silver, Soulsby, a whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering with them leading up to a 2006 case, as the ones involved with them racketeering leading up to the 2000 the Trade Center attack case, real or made up. In other words, those are people involved racketeering with that area, with databases, vertical and horizontal racketeering tied to the racketeering with the databases. A former Mayor Gold, new and past ones. Uses of the wire crime methods, forging names, switching names, judges, crimes with town offices, intercities, elections. We can't have election. How are we gonna have election? They're stuck. Your mother.